This is our news, the weekend edition, and on the broadcast tonight, a tour boat with 12 people on board explodes on the Exuma Seas. Ahead tonight, the latest on the tragedy involving American tourists. Plus, with only hours left before VAT is increased to 12%, Bahamians shopping to take advantage of the 7.5% rate. And be prepared. That's the message the NEMA director wants all residents to heed.
Our news is brought to you by Alive.
Good evening, I'm Andrew Knowles, and thanks so much for joining us. Off the top tonight, tragedy struck in the waters off the Exumas this morning following an explosion on board the Four Seas Adventures charter boat carrying 12 people on board. Our news can confirm that one of the passengers, an American female, has died, with at least 2 other Americans listed as critically injured.
If this explodes, move the boat!
Move the boat! It's going to explode.
Wow, that's bad.
What started off as a fun boating excursion to the Exuma Keys to visit the swimming pigs turned tragic after the boat's engine reportedly exploded, leaving a severely charged wreckage. An American female succumbed to her injuries, with 3 other American passengers and 1 Bahamian being airlifted here to the capital for further medical attention. Ambulances were lined off outside the Accident and Emergency Department, where we met Health Minister Dr. Dwayne Sands entering the hospital earlier this afternoon.
So we can confirm that there was a very serious accident, boating accident in Exuma today, and a total of 12 persons were injured. One of those persons unfortunately succumbed to her injuries. Of the remaining victims, 2 have been airlifted to New Providence, and both are at the Princess Margaret Hospital. One is actively involved in having surgical correction of her injuries, and another is being evaluated with a number of diagnostic tests. We await the arrival of an additional 2 victims who should be arriving in Nassau probably within the hour.
Dr. Sands said that it is anticipated that the remaining American tourists would be transported by the U.S. Coast Guard directly to Florida.
Princess Margaret Hospital has a very well choreographed approach to mass casualty events, and while we don't ever look forward to them, we are certainly prepared to deal with them.
Exuma's and Ragged Island MP Chester Cooper was on the ground in Exuma. He said he had the chance to speak with the boat's captain, who seems to be in good spirits. The incident sent shockwaves throughout the Exuma community. The MP described the mood outside of the hospital.
Persons of concern, the community has come together as usual. Some of the guests were staying at the Sandals Resort. 2 managers from Sandals are present. The administrators on hand. It's a large cadre of police officers, inclusive of Superintendent Rodney Williams, who's recently arrived to the island. The administrator, I believe I mentioned, but generally local tourist office, health officials are all in high gear and seeing how we can make the best out of a bad situation.
Once again, 1 confirmed dead and several others are critically injured following a boat explosion on the Exuma Seas this morning. Our news will continue to follow this developing story. In other news this evening, in just a matter of hours, that value-added tax increase to 12% will take effect. And all through the city this morning, shoppers were in and out of stores trying to get their hands on items ahead of that tax hike. Our Kyle Joaquin was on the streets today and tells us more.
Here at Costrite, we got mixed reaction. There were some who were just doing their regular Saturday shopping. Then again, there were others who were really trying to beat that VAT increase. You trying to beat the 12%?
Of course you are, because you've got to buy or spend, save the $5, $10 while you can. Otherwise, you can spend it tomorrow.
Looking to save whatever amount of money they can, shoppers were out in full force today. At this cost-right wholesale store, customers like this one came out with more than one trolley full of household items. I see you have a lot of stuff here. I just want to know if you're trying to beat the increase in VAT to 12%.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
You are?
Yes, we are.
Are you concerned about the increase?
Yes, I am.
How do you feel about it?
I think it's a little bit too high.
So what are you buying here today exactly?
Supplies for our home.
I see bleach, I see a lot of toilet tissue,
A lot of hand towels and everything else that you need in your home.
So you're just stocking up?
You're stocking up to save that 12%, to save that extra 60%.
Yeah, I am, but ain't nothing I can do.
What's up?
I have to eat. I have to live. So there ain't nothing you can do.
Yes, regular Saturday shopping.
Are you at all concerned about the 12% VAT increase?
No, not really.
Some customers like this woman own a small business. For her, the increase in VAT from 7.5% to 12% with just a month's notice is a tough pill.
For a business owner and an entrepreneur, I would have preferred for the government to give us more time, maybe 2 months advance, to let us know, to make it much easier for us. But it may be a boost for the economy, but basically as a small business owner, my personal feelings is that we will get an effect from it.
But it wasn't just wholesale grocery stores. Over at the Bahamas Customs Office on Ararat Key, lines went in every direction you can imagine. That department forced to open on a Saturday because of the demand from people trying to clear their items ahead of the tax hike.
I have a 20-foot container of grocery items for my restaurant that's on the pier, and it's, if I can save a couple of dollars, why not? You know what I mean? And we got probably $20,000 worth of items in that, so better try get it while you can. As you know, tomorrow it's gone, it's up.
I'm here to get 2 cars, and I am here to beat the 12% VAT. I was surprised to know they would be open today.
Yeah, but I understand they open just to accommodate you all.
Yes, and I appreciate that.
Are you concerned? There has been widespread concern over the effects the increase in VAT could have on businesses and the average person. But now that we're less than a day away from the increase, businesses like Kelly's Lumberyard are seeing their customers a bit earlier than expected.
I was really trying to establish paying in advance for some building materials, but the way how the system is set up today, we cannot do it. We just have to go with the 12%.
So you were trying to beat the increase?
Yeah, well, if we pay for the items today, you have to take them today, but the volume of stuff that I want to purchase, it have to be delivered. So delivery is going to be till next week.
For Our News Weekend, I'm Kyle Joaquin.
All right, thanks a lot, Kyle. Well, with the first month of the hurricane season down, many may be getting relaxed. But Director of the National Emergency Management Agency, Captain Stephen Russell, is urging Bahamians to take the season seriously and begin preparing now if they haven't already. Our Gillian Gray tells us more.
June 1st marked the beginning of the Atlantic hurricane season, and though the first month has been quiet, NEMA Director Captain Russell is not advising that you rest on your laurels. During last year's season, NEMA assisted in the largest disaster evacuation effort in Bahamian history, and this year they are prepared to do the same if the need arises.
How do you prepare for a Category 5 storm? Like we saw what happened last year, we found it more cost-effective to evacuate some vulnerable persons from the group. Your senior citizens and your young kids, you don't want them in an area if a Category 4 or 5 storm is coming. It may be the prudent thing just to evacuate them from that potential disaster area and bring them to a safe area. And if push comes to shove again this year, we have refined our evacuation plan that we executed last year. We refined it to make sure it runs a bit more smoother this year, in terms of persons we would bring from a potential disaster area.
The NEMA team has been actively working to inform residents of what they need to do to prepare. And as there are 5 more months to go before the season ends, Captain Russell is encouraging residents to be their brother's keeper all season long.
We want neighborhoods to look at how we can collectively secure our neighborhood. We all live next to someone. We asking persons to know how our neighbors are doing, how are they planning for the upcoming hurricane season, and to make sure that the necessary steps have been taken.
NEMA teams have been meeting on a regular basis to develop a comprehensive prep plan for each island and is focusing on ensuring that all agencies, sectors, and communities are prepared. As this has been predicted to be a very active hurricane season, Captain Russell is urging persons to not take preparation lightly.
So urging persons, if they haven't already done so, look into those measures as to how you can safeguard your home Your home it should be your primary shelter. Do you have the proper shutters for your homes? Are you getting those basic provisions that you would need, the lights, the batteries, and other things, canned goods that you would need? If you're in a low-lying area, you should know where you'd want to stay in your home. Does it flood? Do you need to get out? Or where is there a shelter for you? Or do you have a family plan as to where you would go and ride out a storm if a storm does impact us here in New Providence or in your island in general, okay?
With 13 named storms predicted and 2 forecasted to be major storms, many have already heeded the warning and are actively taking precautions to prepare.
Well, my mind always set for hurricane because I know you understand the area of the zone, we're in the hurricane zone. And preparation, I partially prepared. I have some cash. Without cash, you can't get nothing done. All right? And my mind adjusted to the season. I always hope that it don't really come and affect no one at all.
Yes, I have. I believe in being proactive and making the best of my time and my resources before the hurricane actually is here. I plan to be prepared.
Well, I had generated from the last hurricane, so basically that's it. My home is secure. My roof is fixed, so thank God for that.
Reporting for Our News Weekend, I'm Jillian Gray.
Well, from the overnight crime beat, police are investigating 2 armed robberies. The first incident occurred shortly after 10 last night in the Colony Village area. Police say a man and a woman had just arrived at home when they were approached by a man armed with a firearm who robbed them of cash and other items before getting into a black Nissan vehicle and speeding off. And then about an hour later, a man was at his home on Johnson Road off the Eastern Road when he was approached by 3 men, one armed with a firearm, who robbed him of cash before running away. Now, fortunately, no one was injured or harmed in the incidents. Police also uncovering an illegal firearm, ammunition, and dangerous drugs. Acting on information, police conducted a search of a bushy area off Fire Trail Road and recovered a 9mm pistol with 8 rounds of ammunition and a quantity of suspected marijuana. No arrests were made in connection with this find. However, one man is in custody after he was found in possession of a quantity of suspected marijuana. Police searched the mill on Market Street South, where they found the drugs, and when they conducted an immediate search of the area where the male was standing, they uncovered more suspected marijuana weighing in at 3 pounds and 5 ounces. Investigations are ongoing. We will take our first break here, but still ahead tonight, what's the expected impact of the Junkanoo Summer Festival on tourism? That's coming up when Our News returns.